Hey guys, what's up? It's Dan Weimer here, CEO of Morpheus.Network, here with another cool video for you guys. I know we've done a lot of platform demonstrations, discussions with various team members and so on and so forth. One of my favorite type of video is to introduce someone new to the community. This is someone new to the community, but he's been with us for a few months now. Working in the trenches with us. Consider him a friend, someone that's hilarious to talk to, and you might notice that just in this conversation at all. But his name is Carl Wood. Carl Wood, thank you for joining me today. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Down in the trenches in Mexico, staying out of the streets basically for the last 2 months. So yeah, we're just getting hit by the virus. So no reason to go out, but that's good. I can do a lot of work with the clients from here, so it's good. Yeah,
exactly. And if you caught that, he is working remotely for us out of Mexico. That actually, you probably asked the question, another fine British gentleman in Mexico. He does know Carl McDermott. They do have a history together. So Carl, maybe I'll just, throw it over to you. Can you tell us a little bit about your history and even some of your history with Carl as well?
Yeah, sure. I came out of University of London many years ago, a neuroscientist. So I worked in that for 2 years, but then I got brought over to a software company in London, financial planning software company, and that's where I met Carl. That was about 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. So we worked together on a lot of big projects, HSBC and some of the big banks. I then became the director of finance and banking for the UK company. Big responsibility, lots of huge clients, Morgan Stanley, Chase Manhattan, etc. And then in 1993, they sent me to Mexico to open Latin America. So myself and Carl have both been here. Carl came 2 years before me, so he kind of said it was a great place to be. I asked him, if I should come over, if they offered me the job for director of LATAM. He said absolutely. So I came to join Carl in Mexico, and we set up a company office in Mexico, and then we went through all the countries: Argentina, Brazil, Venezuela in the day. Set up the whole infrastructure for Latin America for ComShare, which was the company we were working for. And then 2003, they said that they wanted me to move to Russia, Moscow. And I said, don't think so. As you can see, I've got a very nice garden here. And so we started our own consulting firms. Carl's had his company, I had my company. But we've been collaborating really for 30 years on a lot of strategic planning, financial planning, budgeting, really tied in with the owners and the finance directors, CFOs, CEOs of all these big corporations, top 500 LATAM, obviously going back to the US and to the UK and Europe with those big brands. But then about 2 years ago or less, Carl started inviting me to come and jump over to Morpheus. I had a look at it and I thought, fantastic opportunity for a brand new technology. Didn't know much about blockchain at the time. Sort of realized what that means to compliance and audit trail and all the finance stuff that it applies to. And so with all the walk-ins that we've got to the top finance executives and owners of all these companies throughout LATAM and obviously globally, I thought it was a great opportunity. Very exciting to be here. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, no, thank you, Carl, for joining the team, most definitely. And, I wanted to ask you as well, because it has been a bunch of months that you've been with us. You've been working obviously for years with Carl, but also closely now with Ben and with myself and Noam as well. How has been your experience so far working with the Morpheus team? Be honest. I know it's me listening.
In a word, I would say exciting. I'm going to say when I brought the UK ComShare company to Mexico with Carl, we were just starting a wave of financial planning at a corporate level that had never been seen before in this part of the world. So we were breaking boundaries. I feel the same about Morpheus. It's one of those exciting times where you have the best product in the market and a great team to work with, and a young company that's flexible, dynamic, and that you can pretty much say what you want to say, even if people don't like what you say. Sometimes it's got to be said. So I'm really enjoying it, actually. It's the first time I spoke to Ben, who's helping us out down in LATAM, but out of Miami. I said to him, this is the most exciting thing that I've done in the last 10 years. It really is that good.
Mm-hmm. And Carl's done a lot of exciting things. He had an exciting life. He lived in Mexico and all that. So that does say a lot, actually. So, um, just to give everyone an idea, I know there's certain contracts we have in place and so on and so forth that we can't give all the bits of information that we'd like. You've been working in the trenches, like you said, with Ben. The company that you've been working with is a Fortune 100. If you want to shed some light on, like you said, you sometimes have to point out, the problems, and that's what we want. We want to find these problems in order to find solutions. And it's not always an easy thing to say to a company, like, these are the problems you have, point out their problems, right? Why don't you talk a little bit about, what you've been working on and how the trenches look, basically?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of companies, when we're talking to the finance officer, there's a lot of these issues that they don't even consider as being part of the finance remit. So when you suddenly start talking about supply chain, some of these companies say, well, I'll throw you over to this guy who's director of supply chain or manager in the warehouse. And you say, no, this is hitting your bottom line. This is really important. We can save you 1% or something. And for one of these large companies, like a food and beverage company, global top 20, I guess, that all of a sudden becomes a big number. So working with them, you suddenly find out that just in the pilot project through LATAM, we've got 20 different companies in the 12 countries that they're operating. Every single one of those companies has a different installation of SAP, a different SAP footprint. So that integration between themselves is almost near impossible. So much manual coordinating emails between the different companies. So Central LATAM, which is basically the Gulf region, which includes Mexico and Colombia, but also all of the Central American countries. On a daily basis, those people are dealing with 600 emails to move 20 shipments. So if we can automate that process, which we are doing in the pilot, we're just saving people the time of having to email somebody to ask for a document, or all the compliance, all of the import, export, taxation. We're going to get a helicopter now, just for good measure. But I'll probably pause, and then you can edit. Probably the president. Can you hear it?
It's not too bad, actually. I think we might keep it in.
Yeah. So I've been working on that for about 4 months with managing shipments through Central LATAM, and it's been an eye-opener for them, just realizing where the pain points are. I am going to pause now. Come on, President. Come
on. Honestly, we can't hear. Oh, I hear a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's going away. So, yeah, I mean, they realized they had problems. They were losing 17 in the very. We're running with a few of their brands, not the entire list of brands. We decided to do a pilot on a subset of about 20 different brand SKUs for different products. And they were losing $17 million a quarter just on those products. And when we saw where they're losing it, all of that coordination between 6 different entities for one shipment, from the original company ordering, who belongs to the group, to the middle company managing the 3PL, 4PL, to the shippers, the freight forwarders, the ground transport or the maritime transport, back to corporate export head office. 6 different groups of people where nobody really has responsibility for putting the documents on the platform. So, containers arrive with the wrong packing list, the wrong container number. And so they were literally losing, 10% on shipments monthly going around Central LATAM, which was costing them a fortune. So, we're trying to streamline that. Great team to work with, a company that myself and Carl have worked with for 20 years. Ben is obviously very close to the company as well, and he helps us out in Atlanta as well as in LATAM. So yeah, it's been a good project so far, and that's just one of several that I'm working on right now.
Exactly, and we're finding that common theme of all these different stakeholders, and you mentioned those 6 different companies involved with those shipments, and that's not even discussing the companies involved with the logistics of it as well, and they all need a hand in there too, and not to mention the various IT companies that are involved as well. So there's complexities to all these different shipments, and that's where we come in to streamline it. And once again, we're proving our value with them and with all these other projects as well, like you say. So
well, that's where the middleware really comes in, Dan. It's like, we're not just integrating 6 different instances of SAP, we're also integrating what potentially going forward, when they allow access for the other partners in the group, will be to add in the 3PL to have direct access to upload something automatically rather than them do it internally. So you're suddenly bringing in, somebody might be an Oracle, an IBM, as well as SAP, or they might just have, one of these smaller companies operating in a smaller country in LATAM might not have a SAP, and might have, a Microsoft ERP, or a,
Dynamics, yeah.
Oracle or IBM. So it's just that middleware aspect, bringing together everything in one place. Doesn't sound very exciting, but actually it's amazing when they see you can do it.
Yeah, and not to mention also it brings the data in, but also that data is then actionable on the other data. So now you have these different systems that are communicating. They used to be just these static, standalone systems. Now they're dynamic, interacting with each other at the same time. So really exciting stuff.
What I like about it is you've also got you've got the compliance aspect, regulatory compliance, as well as product quality and all the rest of it. But you've also got what I call, from the finance side, is the full audit trail. So if somebody comes in to get that audit trail in a year's time, Deloitte want to look back at a particular client, you've got that historical record of every shipment you've done, immutable on the blockchain. I think that's massive value to my customers.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, most definitely. And on top of that, we're talking all the compliance and validating all that data, but bringing in even extra functionality through IoT devices, and then taking all that data and putting it through machine learning centers. There's so much more to grow, more phases with these projects. So yeah, Carl, awesome stuff. I really appreciate you sharing that information with me and with the community as well.
I lost you, Dan. Ben calling me.
No, I don't think you were coming in perfect that whole time. Honestly, it was really good. So yeah. Anything else you wanted to share about working with Morpheus and with the team, basically?
Sorry, I need to just fix something on my phone. Can you talk again?
Can you hear me now?
No, it's very low volume.
I don't know why.
Volume's up. Volume. Don't know how to fix that. I'll keep talking.
Yeah, no, I could hear you really well, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties with Carl down there in Mexico. He's doing fine though. I just wanted to thank Carl for taking the time and sharing with us, what he's working on, what he's doing in those trenches. I know the community likes to know, what we're doing, what we're mapping. What is the team working on to get these implementations done? And that does shed some good light on that. So Carl, thank you for that. And everybody else who's watching, if you have any questions for myself, it's actually easy to reach Carl or to reach the other Carl as well, because this is Carl with a C. So CARL at Morpheus.Network, or the other Carl at KARL at Morpheus.Network, or myself, Dan or Noam. Reach out to the team. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Dan. Cheers.
Thanks, Carl.